Crypto products are unregulated and could be highly volatile. Please be aware of the risks before investing.
राज, बाबूजी के आशीर्वाद से हमने अपनी नई शुरुआत तो कर ली, पर अपना फ्यूचर प्लान कैसे करें?
बड़े बड़े शहरों में ऐसी छोटी छोटी बातें होती रहती हैं।
Looking for perfect start? Get a Bitcoin today. Download the UnoCoin app.
जब मैं तेरी उम्र का था ना, तो एक सक्सेसफुल करियर, लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग सब रेडी करके रख चुका था। और एक इन महाराज को देखो, पूरा दिन फोन में लगा रहेगा।
दैट प्लानिंग तो मैंने भी कर रखी है, UnoCoin के साथ।
नए जमाने के साथ नई चीजें आजमाएं। Looking for Bitcoin? Download the UnoCoin app.
Guys, we really need to work hard. This wasn't a good quarter. Tell me, are you happy with this?
UnoCoin.
Want to earn Bitcoin? Just grab your phone and shake it. Download the UnoCoin app.
Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin,
Bitcoin.
Get a systematic buying plan from the UnoCoin app to get your Bitcoin today. Download the UnoCoin app.
Hello everyone, once again welcome back to UnoCoins Live, where we are going to be talking about very interesting topic this week specifically, which is Bitcoin halving. Our good times ahead. So इस आज की हमारी इस चर्चा के लिए we'll be having our favorite speaker, who always joins us with such great enthusiasm, Mr. Sathvik Vishwanath, the CEO and the co-founder of UnoCoin. बट जब तक वो हमें ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं दोस्तों, आई एम श्योर आप सब हाविंग के लिए काफी एक्साइटेड होंगे, क्योंकि मैं तो बहुत ज्यादा एक्साइटेड हूँ. आई मीन this is the halving that people are saying this is gonna be the longest bull run that has ever been. Bitcoin's price might go to $100,000. Bitcoin price might even go past $100,000. So I mean, it's pretty insane the way it is this time. आप लोग बताइए कि आपके क्या विचार हैं जब तक हमारे स्पीकर आज के हमें ज्वाइन करते हैं अबाउट बिटकॉइन हाल्विंग. एंड लेट्स सी. ओके, सो आवर स्पीकर इज जॉइनिंग अस. इन द मीन टाइम हम हाल्विंग के बारे में थोड़ी बात करते हैं. बिटकॉइन हाविंग है क्या और ये क्यों इम्पोर्टेंट है, सबसे बड़ी चीज. सो मुझे बिटकॉइन हाविंग का लॉजिक जो था वो तब समझ में आया था व्हेन आई वाज रीडिंग द बिटकॉइन स्टैंडर्ड्स एंड आई अंडरस्टूड द मीनिंग ऑफ स्टॉक टू फ्लो रेशियो. सो बेसिकली कोई बहुत बहुत मुश्किल चीज नहीं है इसको समझना. स्टॉक टू फ्लो रेशियो इज नथिंग बट एक इकोनॉमिक कंसेप्ट जिसका मतलब है कि स्टोर ऑफ वैल्यू कोई एसेट को कैसे कंसिडर कर सकते हैं हम. लाइक इफ वी हैव 10 ऑप्शंस, उसमें से कौन सबसे बेस्ट स्टोर ऑफ वैल्यू हो सकता है हमारे लिए. अब इसी के बीच हमने सीखा स्टॉक टू फ्लो का मतलब. स्टॉक टू फ्लो बेसिकली होता है जिसका स्टॉक यानी कि उसका एग्जिस्टेंस ज़्यादा हो और उसका जो फ्लो यानी कि उसकी जो आने वाली सप्लाई हो वो कम हो. अगर हम फियाट में देखेंगे तो स्टॉक से ज़्यादा फ्लो है क्योंकि हर साल हम देखते हैं there's a good amount of currency being printed. Now with Bitcoin the case is opposite. Now we see 19 million Bitcoin out of 21 million Bitcoins have already been mined. बट हाविंग के बाद ये जो प्रोसेस है ये स्लो हो जाता है. अब जो बचे हुए बिटकॉइन है दे विल बी माइंड ओवर द कोर्स ऑफ नेक्स्ट 120 ईयर्स. यानी कि जो इसका स्टॉक है दैट इज हायर as compared to its flow which is going to be in the circulation in the coming years. तो बेसिकली इसका सर्कुलेशन में जो भी इसकी सप्लाई लाई जा रही है उसका अमाउंट कम हो जाता है. So there's so many things that we don't understand, that we don't know about Bitcoin, and it's just so beautiful. Hi Sathvik, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Shambhavi. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm great and super excited. Having in I don't know how many hours now. I think it's expected Saturday morning.
Yeah. I was just checking. It's 1 day, 17 hours. So, yeah, approximately.
Yeah,
Start.
I'm so excited, just to channel my excitement. I'm thinking to make a little vlog about it, because we are all traveling to go for this Bitcoin having party with the entire community. And I'm just thinking to create a little vlog. Okay, 5 hours from having, 2 hours from having, because, I cannot contain my excitement. So, Satvik, you have comparatively seen lot many havings, and I think this is the first having where I have understood the meaning of having. To be honest, that's why I'm so excited. How has it been like the first time you came across the term having? How was the confusion like? Did you find it strange that a certain asset is having a procedure like that, because we don't see a process like having for any other asset?
Yeah, but also we have to understand the logic behind it. So, why that halving is designed in that particular manner, right? So, after understanding it, of course, you will start appreciating. That's like a fantastic way of handling how the supply should be done so that it eventually become valuable, and also over a particular period of time, you still have enough of them for circulation, right? So, it was very very intelligently designed, is how I would say. So explaining halving today may be a little easy, but just imagine if we have to explain halving in 2012, right? So we would have read heard of it, maybe on newspapers or some media, or some influencers talking about it, etc. When nothing was there, it was much more tough. So we used to give the analogy of a pizza, right? So just imagine it's like 12 or 21 million of the total Bitcoin is like one pizza, and uh, first 4 years you eat only half of it. Then in the remaining 4 years, you eat half of the whatever is remaining, which is quarter, and then like 1/8, and next be like 1/16 of it, or something like that. So if you continue doing it, you will never be able to eat the full pizza forever, because there is always some small piece left. But it will become you cannot eat anymore, right? So it is, and then you just stop eating. So that essentially is like a full pizza almost, right? So that's how we had to explain why 10.5 million bitcoins was in circulation in the first 4 years itself, is because that is the time when people started understanding it, right? So there's very less number of people, and the price of bitcoin was also obviously less. It was more or less reduced at that point of time, and people needed more of them to keep them motivated. It's not like today, right? So all of that, I think it just worked the way it is designed to work, which itself is a very miraculous event, I would say. This is not the first time where people have tried introducing the digital currencies, right? So multiple of these things have happened in the past, and for various reasons it was a super failure. either it was completely centralized in nature but not by a government, or maybe someone pulled the rug of doing some kind of mess up, or maybe the company got caught in some kind of spiral loop, or some kind of law enforcement and some mess up. So overall, even though they have tried doing it even for units of gold, units of money, and a lot of them, maybe at least it has happened, I would say, between the year 2000 to 2010, right? So those are the years where various things. And in 2010, Bitcoin was not super successful yet, even though it was 2 year old, right? So then, when after people understanding that okay, Bitcoin works in this particular way and it is designed in this manner, uh, people start analyzing that okay, if that already exists the way it's supposed to be, then I have not actually seen too many digital currencies completely privately owned after that, right? So yes, so today, as we speak about Bitcoin halving, we are going from the 6.25 Bitcoin per 10 minutes to 3.125 Bitcoin per 10 minutes. So it's definitely exciting. But like you said, this is not my first halving. Like how I would say, this is not my first bull run. So
Yes.
you're going growing old with Bitcoin. It's been like that.
I mean, with Bitcoin, Satvik, there comes so many questions, and it's beyond the convention of the general concept of money and how we store our money, store our value. One interesting question that I haven't been able to answer myself. I don't know if you know for certain or anybody knows for certain other than Satoshi Nakamoto. Why is there just 21 million Bitcoins? Why not more or less?
I think it was more or less an arbitrary number. Okay, so it could have been more, it could have been less, but depending on that, the total market cap would have still been whatever it is today, and the price per Bitcoin would have varied in that way, right? So I could just simply argue if he chose 42 as a number, 42 million, I would say today the Bitcoin price would be about $33,000. Or if he chose only say 1 million, then we're talking about every Bitcoin would have already been more than $1 million by today.
More than $1 million.
So yeah, it was more or less an arbitrary number, and it was also about okay, if you keep on halving, like eventually it has to add up to some specific big number. So I think all of that he would have considered, and he would have come up with this particular number. I think. Yeah.
Interesting, and if we ever happen to meet him, or if we ever get to know who is Satoshi Nakamoto, I'm gonna ask him this question: why 21 million? Why were you
Then
so?
you have to ask a number of other questions also. Why every block is 10 minutes?
Yeah, there are a lot of questions like that. I
And
mean,
then why every block is 1 MB? Right, and yeah, so you, but I think all of these, even though it's somewhat arbitrary, but still somewhat makes sense. And why 8 decimal places? I mean, today, yeah, it makes sense, but on that day, why 8 decimal places?
yeah.
On day one itself, it was like making fun.
Coming to decimal places and Satvik, one thing that I've noticed, people fail to realize back in the days, in the days of our parents, when our parents used to be young, during that time, pesa, like 20 paisa, 25 paisa used to have a lot of value. It was a micro unit of rupees.
Hmm.
Similarly, SAT is a micro unit of Bitcoin. Now we see SAT is gaining value as we are going ahead in time. Fiat losing its
Paisa
value.
is losing value. Hmm.
Yeah, paisa. I mean, who even carries paisa anymore? Not even rupees. I mean, hardly anybody has a 10 rupee note in their pocket nowadays. It's all 500, 100 rupee notes at the best.
Hmm.
So, what do you feel about that?
It's just about inflation, and some part of it is because of the effect of centralization as well, right? And so, I mean, who decides how much money to print, when to print? So all of that, even though directly or indirectly, I mean, indirectly we are responsible for voting those people, and maybe indirectly the people who gets appointed there as officers of whatever organizations like RBI and such. So eventually, we will not be able to have our say in every little thing they do. We'll only get to choose once 5 years, right? So, and hoping that they just do their thing right. But at the end of the day, we also need to understand, apart from just doing right things, they also need to make sure that their position is sustained, and whenever possible, they grow better in their position. and maybe try to go one level up. And this is the main issue with centralization. It's not only just with money; it's also with politics. It's also with organizations everywhere. And for that to happen, whatever they need to do, good, bad, ugly, they'll try to do that, right? So that's where the issues start. But let's say, for example, we know the politics work very differently in UAE, right? So there, then you actually have a king, and there are like seven of those emirates, right? And he don't have to impress anyone. First thing, he is not losing his power till he die. Okay, so now given those two things are there, there is nothing to grow and there is nothing to impress, and he's not losing that. Then he will use all of his time, energy, and resources to how to improve the country so that he gets a better name.
Yeah.
Okay, but that won't happen in a country like India, which is completely democratic in nature. There is like much bigger agendas, including personal agendas, that makes it actually complicated. That's how I would see.
True, 100%. Let's hope one day our rupees gets pegged to Bitcoin. Far-fetched dream, yes, but not impossible.
Mhm.
Okay, we have a few comments over here. Abhijit is saying, "Good evening. Just wanted to know your insight about the post-halving effort, if events of BTC, as BTC already crossed the previous all-time high pre-halving this time. Thank you."
See, halving is a definitive event. Okay, so and all of us know it will 100% definitely happen, more or less 1 or 2 days difference. Okay, so now it comes down to, did everyone know about halving? Definitely true. Which means everyone would have already considered when they're buying or selling that the halving is going to happen, and they would have factored in the price itself. Okay, so this time the all-time high of last time, I mean, crossing that, because which was $69,000. I don't think that was significantly related to halving, and I would also say the effect of halving from now on will only be less and less, because now we almost have close to 20 million Bitcoin in circulation. Okay, and going further, I guess maybe another say 500,000 or something like that probably is what is getting introduced for the next 4 years. And if you see the percentage, it's like not even 3% of the new Bitcoins is coming up. But from the first 4 years to second 4 years, it was 50% of the Bitcoin. The first 4 years, it was 10.5 million, and the next 4 years, it was 5.25 million. So the introduction that happened in the second 4 years is 50% of whatever was available in the circulation, which is 10.5 million. Okay, but now it is less than a few percent. Okay, and going further, it will be even less, even less. So it's pretty much, I think, it's not going to affect significantly anymore. Whatever is available, the number of bitcoins that will continue to go circulation, continue to get circulated, and these miners will start earning more and more money because of the mining fees that transactions are willing to pay, and not just because of the mining rewards that they are able to get for every block. So I actually don't see the previous high that we just crossed a month ago to be anything to do with halving. And whenever the halving happens, it's kind of a lot of times we have seen the price going down itself, because it's a sure shot event and people waited for it thinking that it will create some kind of lot of buzz, which it usually does. And after the buzz is created, then the price would have increased, and when the actual halving happens, the buzz is over because that event is over, right? So to some extent, people will believe that, okay, like, the party is over, you want to sell it and see if you can get in at a lower price. And after the halving as well, if you see the last few halvings, this is the fourth one. We have seen three other in the recent past. So for the first few months, the price is comparatively on the lower side itself. And by the end of that particular year, we have actually seen the price to go significantly higher. So that is what we may expect this year as well. And there is a very logical explanation about how the human emotions and calculations work, and how the media works, and how the buzz works, and how new customers are getting in, and how everyone is thinking, how the millennials are thinking. So all of that combined, yes, we cannot anticipate the price to keep on going up, even though just because it's just it is halving is happening, which is like a very known thing already.
I mean, I never thought from that perspective, to be honest. For me, and I think most people out there, having is one of the driving factors, and with the price going up. So, Sathvik, one interesting question. We see in the Bitcoin space, early movers have always had an advantage, and we see whales. We call them whales, apparently, like the ones having chunks of Bitcoin with them, and they have a good amount of impact on the market. Now, with halving, like you said, the impact's going to be lesser and lesser in the coming years. Would they have a upper stance, with halving's impact reducing in the
Uh,
prediction?
See, I mean, in crypto market, because the number of traders, number of exchanges, if you see globally, it's comparatively much less as compared to, say, for example, equity markets, and the volumes are very different, and number of people trading, like all are different, right? So the crypto exchanges comparatively are more transparent in nature, and there are services which significantly give most of the data, like statistics of what's happening on crypto exchange. I have not seen such kind of service globally for equity markets. I mean, in reality. So when we are talking about whales, yes, there are bigger traders with lot of deep pocket. That is all fine, and that exists in a lot of other markets as well. And they, of course, have the capability to manipulate the market to some extent, depending upon their putting the buy order or sell order. Like if they want to move the market to some extent, they are capable, but not like everyone of those kinds of whales also try to do that, and they also will wait to maximize their returns. So I don't see them. I have never seen them to be any kind of threat. In fact, these are the ones, if there is like lot of sell off, the ones who actually grabs these kinds of Bitcoin or any other crypto and try to help stabilize the market and all such. So those are actually required, for having comparatively stable markets. So yeah, so overall, I actually don't see them to be any kind of threat. They'll make money, for sure, and depending upon the normal individuals' ability to understand the these kinds of concepts that is going around, they'll also be able to make it. And this is not a zero sum game. So yeah, that is something like very good when it comes to crypto market. It actually is very very forgiving, unless you do a huge blunder, right? So it's generally like, even if you have bought Bitcoin at the wrong time, now probably you're in profit, right? So it's not always true with lot of equities, lot of other commodities and such. It actually is like much more challenging. So if you're just doing the proper portfolio diversification, actually helps you, even with the wrong decisions, you will still not lose most of the money, and they'll still be able to get it back, I think. Yeah.
Interesting. Abhijit has an interesting question here as well. How long and how much retracement period of BTC will continue post halving after 2024, which is day after? Your valuable prediction.
Very very tough. But if I again look at the what has happened in the previous halving cycles, for the first few months at least, we have not seen a huge upswing in the prices. So there is some kind of consolidation, some kind of price corrections just after halving. But after that only, like, people have actually realized it quite a bit of returns. So that's what I would see.
Even our viewers have answered Abhijit in the comment section. Pradeep says Abhijit nobody knows, and Shivam P is also saying that nobody knows. That's. I mean, it's all to wait and watch game, and it's about understanding the technology. If you understand, you're confident about it, you wouldn't even want to know. That is the thing.
No, if you're talking about halving, I think we definitely have to talk about price action, right? So it's, see, the technology, whatever existed in 2009, 2010, maybe we have a little bit better if it comes to Bitcoin. today, like whatever it is. So a few upgrades and such things, but fundamentally the concepts are all same. And it's like I say, it's like miraculous that it's these things have come together to make something so impactful is a miracle, of course. Yes.
Indeed. True. Shivam has a question here. Your thoughts on runes? I'm not sure what runes is.
I have read about it, but I'm yet to have any kind of thoughts around it yet. Maybe Shiva, he keeps coming up for our AMAs. We should try that question maybe in a few more weeks, where we eventually like try to make up our mind of what we're talking about and what we should be commenting about it. Yeah, yeah. So it's something new related to Bitcoin as well. Yeah, sure.
Pradeep is saying rune will be ruined. I don't even know what rune is, guys. So just fill me in. Pradeep, Shivam, if you guys know what rune is, fill me in. I'll also get to know. And, okay, interesting terms coming up ahead of halving. Excitements just keep going. So, Satvik, another interesting thing about halving is that people say that Bitcoin is artificially made to be scarce. A lot of people would argue that. Now, what is your thought on that? Because I mean,
No, that is actually true with everything, like everything money in digital form. No?
yeah,
So if you see, is money in your bank account scarce? Yes, right. So it's not like abundant where it keeps growing or anything like that, right? So there is only limited in number. And how much new things gets introduced? Yes, it will be there. Yes, I mean it is made to be scarce. If it is not made to be scarce, it would not have been valuable at all, right? So probably it wouldn't have even gone to 0.01 cents, I guess. Um, and why am I saying that? Like even if you take what I think Floki coin, which I don't know how many number of digits exist, probably yeah, zillions or trillions of those units.
Shiva has trillion. I'm sure that has more.
So do you still call it scarce? I would still call it scarce because eventually there is a number.
Matlab, at the end of the day, but then they can keep on creating as well. So
Yeah, but a lot of them they say okay, this much is the total number of people, yeah, Shiba Inu coins or whatever they'll create, right? So eventually, even they want to put some number on top of it. And for when it comes to Ether, I mean Ethereum, it's not like a fixed number, but there is a formula. So that says like how much will get generated over a period of time. So yeah, I mean keeping scarce, that itself is the complete essence of crypto, right? How can you make something digital that is not controlled by someone scarce? The answer was found only in crypto. Then we identified the technology behind it and we named it as blockchain. So
I mean, I very much would like to argue that if not artificially, at least there's some sort of scarcity there. I mean, if you go and talk about other forms of store of value, there's no scarcity, or at least not a fixed number there. So, I mean, yeah. Okay, we have some information on Rune over here in the comment section. Pradeep is saying Rune is an altcoin. I would use the word meme coin here. Protocol on Bitcoin network. Altcoin or meme coin is what I understand here. Shivam says it's gonna be a game changer for Bitcoin. In short, Ether power to Bitcoin.
see, it is like this, right? So we have these things called ordinals, if you remember, for Bitcoin, right? So where they were trying to have some kind of again smart contracts on top of Bitcoin and trying to make some transactions where every Satoshi is representing some kind of NFT, right? So it was not very efficient because it was not as flexible as launching tokens on Ethereum blockchain or on Solana or anything like that. So this Rune is trying to fill up that particular gap of making launching tokens and NFTs through smart contracts much easier on the Bitcoin network. I sometimes feel that do anything with any other network, but just leave Bitcoin alone because it is meant for something else.
Yeah.
uh, don't try to just don't try to make it like a scientist, right? So if you want to experiment, yes, experiment, create your own coin. There are like so many other coins which really want people to experiment on it already, right? So just go to Solana, do it, go to Tron, do it, go to Ether, do it. I mean, an Ethereum blockchain, do that. So why to forcefully try doing it on Bitcoin when Bitcoin is actually meant to do something else? If you don't have any other option, as I understand, you have so many options already. But yeah, anyway, eventually, yeah, they're trying to uh, bring the smart contract kind of smart contract kind of ability for Bitcoin.
But the question is, what is the need? Rightly said, Sathvik, it's meant for something else. It's supposed to change the financial landscape, or let's say to be a successor of the current financial systems in the place. That was the purpose to create Bitcoin. Of course, it's great technology behind it, and blockchain has got a lot of nice use cases. But then again, why is everybody like with such techish mindset after Bitcoin, right? And
But
these
there is a very interesting answer for that. Why you cannot create another Bitcoin just like that? Maybe just another blockchain, another Bitcoin, or name it something else, is because, of course, of the network effect, right? So just if I have that coin and you have that coin, we cannot call it Bitcoin. You really have to have millions of people around the world hold it, right? So that's exactly why you cannot just create another Facebook. You cannot create just another Google, because of the network effect and number of people on top of it. Why you cannot create another WhatsApp and such things. Okay, so I was just trying to say that because of this particular network effect, you cannot just replicate. Okay, so when I just lost the thought. What was your question again? Sorry.
I was saying, what is even the need? Because Bitcoin was created for another purpose. Why is everybody with such technological mindset after Bitcoin that it has limited use cases?
Right. Okay. So now with that kind of network effect, now if you are trying to introduce a new layer on top of it, then you are trying to build that layer on a already present network, which is just available to you for free. So I can make you my customer by just creating a layer on top of it and asking you to use it where you already have Bitcoin, right? But if I'm trying to do it for some other coin, I should ask, do you have Solana? Okay, there's like small number of people, Ether, another small number of people. But the network and the trust that Bitcoin has achieved, definitely, I don't think any other cryptocurrency has achieved it, right? So people trying to take advantage of it is the big thing why they're not letting Bitcoin to stay alone and trying to innovate on top of it. So there were projects literally which said, okay, if you have Bitcoin, then you can redeem so much, like per Bitcoin that you have, you can redeem 100 units of this cryptocurrency by just doing a digital signature and such. If you've heard of those called Hex or whatever. So yeah, they try doing it because it's a huge network already. Like, how do you take advantage of it? How do you spread that? How do you make people? And if you are trying to come up with new tokens, new coins, then how do you put it into millions of people's hands directly or indirectly, irrespective of the price of the coin? That itself is what it creates a network effect. So yeah, they're attempting Bitcoin, sure.
True network effects. I mean, so many people tried to create another Bitcoin by, creating altcoins, forks of Bitcoin, but network effects is what really makes Bitcoin stand out. I mean, it's just cannot be compared to anything else in existence. I don't even think any other thing, including gold, would have such a strong community as Bitcoin. So that's definitely a plus point. Okay, so we are getting few comments over here. Shivam is saying, no, we should take advantage of it. It's truly decentralized.
Of
Okay,
Bitcoin to launch smart contracts on it. Yeah,
yeah.
because of true decentralization, we don't have Vitalik in it. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
We should use this as a little snippet there. What is the tool name that you're using? What tool, master play? I'm sorry, I'm not able to understand. You mean for this?
He is asking, how are you able to do this kind of streaming in such a manner? What tool you are using?
Okay, it's okay. I mean,
It's our marketing secret. Yeah.
yeah, Yeah, it's our marketing secret. We can't tell you. It's amazing quality webinar. Thank you. You know, we are good at finding great things. Okay, Satvik. Now moving forward, Satvik, with we know that mining is gonna get difficult now moving forward, and it's gonna be say little lesser profitable if I have to see this as compared to what it was or what it is right now in today's day and time. Do you think that will trigger people to create alternative methods of mining, if possible?
No, that's the beauty of Bitcoin, no? So you cannot do, there is nothing called alternative method of mining. See, mining actually have a very, very, very interesting, like how Bitcoin and a lot of other cryptocurrency eventually have grown into an industry. Mining itself is actually a big industry, which most of us don't involve in directly or indirectly, right? So there were time when people obviously just used their normal computers in hostels or wherever, in libraries, wherever they were finding, to just mine Bitcoin between say 2011, 2012, maybe some part of 2013 also. Okay, so there were lab technicians who tried to just mine Bitcoin, and after mining a lot of it for various reasons, they lost it, or some even got penalized for using college resources and such things. And I had few friends, at least in initial days, where he was saying that the people in the hostel, right? So anyway, they have that 24 hours internet. They just used to keep the computer running all night to do mining. It was more of the fun because almost the Bitcoin was not valuable. Even if you get 50 Bitcoins in a single block, it probably would have costed maybe a couple of dollars, or maybe tens of rupees or hundreds of rupees. So, and electricity is a part of the rent already. So the students usually don't pay for electricity separately in hostels. So yeah, and there are gamers, who next identified that I can use GPU to make the mining faster than just CPU, and they outpaced these kinds of people who are just using normal CPU. Okay, so there were tools where you could, I mean, which will identify. Okay, you have this CPU. Okay, fine. You have one or two, one GPU as well, and two CPUs. You just like tick mark all of it and say, okay, run. So literally, it will take all resources, run all night, try to do its best to mine some Bitcoin. And that mining difficulty was comparatively very, very, very less at that time. So yes, over a period of time, many people had found a few blocks, and eventually when they analyzed it, okay, it was only for fun because it's not valuable. A lot of them discarded it also. And then came this PGP or something like that, and then it was ASIC miners, which is application specific integrated circuits. So ASIC miners started making some news and actually getting into the market in mid 2013, right? So since then, the ASIC is the technology even we use today, and we have not actually found anything better. But maybe if we ever find anything better, it could be like quantum computing, or something like that eventually, to make it much faster. So where, I mean, when we go from CPU to GPU, it was like multiple X increase, maybe 10X increase, and then there was another 10X increase, and eventually when we came to ASIC, we made another 10X increase. But and since then it has only been improvement since last 10 years. We probably have gone by few X, but with using the same technology. So they're only reducing like you say, 28 nanometer, 50 nanometer. So there are some calculations and such. So they've only got it better to keep it more efficient. And now, if you can get the cheapest electricity, and if you can get good internet and maybe low rent and cool environment, then that is like a super location for doing these kinds of I mean, like these kinds of mining activities already. But over a period of time, at least since 5 years, what we have reanalyzed and realized is, definitely in India we have not seen such kind of place, because bigger part of North India, it's really, really hot in summer. So you cannot compete that. And when you are investing in mining, you have to run 24/7 all 365 days. else making money out of it is actually tough. So, and when it comes to southern part of India, the electricity is comparatively costlier also. So it's kind of not making sense anywhere. But yeah, there are a lot of other countries where it actually has more sense, and they have tried using it. But on the other side, if you purely go with the calculation, a lot of times it will come to an extent that, okay, with investing into mining equipment and then providing all the required technical assistance to make these kinds of mining activities work, and making money out of it is much more difficult, and it involves its own efforts and resources and time, as comparatively you can just buy Bitcoin on exchange. Unless you are just passionate about doing it yourself, buying has given more better returns. This is what I've seen.
I mean, I totally agree. And one thing I couldn't help but wonder, Satvik, after listening to the story about people trying to create or mine bitcoins in their hostel rooms and stuff. Two things I really wish right now. First, that I was a techie. Second, I was born in 1980s, because I just imagine how. Because right now, with what I'm doing right now, I can just hope people to zap me a bitcoin, which might not even happen. So. Or
Well,
not.
I actually don't agree with it. See, if you're talking about, say, 2012, okay, if you were born in 1980 and 2010, for example, would have been like 30 years, or we would say, what, 20 years, whatever. So when you are actually like using this kind of money, trying to earn money through this kind of activity, so first is you are actually not serious about it. You would not have been. You are a student by yourself, okay, and you would not, I mean, fun is fun for, to some extent. You are not a person who would actually sit and do it long time, and there's so many people who just like, it's my hard disk crashed, and that time, reformatting the hard disk, installing new operating systems, trying different games, to trying to run some kind of tools. These are all the normal fun activities for people in hostel, right? So it's extremely unlikely that you would have preserved that particular private key and try to get that money. But on the other side, if you're talking about how you could have bought Bitcoin when it was cheaper, if you're talking about that, then I would argue that the risk of Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin in 2011, 12, and 13, like where it was sub $100, that risk was much higher than what it is today. Okay, so what do I mean by that is, today there is more chance of Bitcoin being successful as compared to the belief that people had in say 10 years ago. Okay, so given this scenario, how much money you would have invested, whatever you can absolutely afford to lose. Even today, we still say the same, but a lot of people actually go much more higher. And because of the market cap and everything, you actually get much smaller amount of Bitcoin. But if you are again willing to take that kind of risk that existed in 2011, 12, 13, there are a lot of other experimental coins which you can still take it. And there is the, like the way the Bitcoin has increased in price over a period of time in 10 years by showing all its valor. So that possibility still would exist also, right? So now again, if you're thinking, okay, I'll buy Bitcoin because it is more safer, then you would not have actually bought Bitcoin at all in 12, 13, 14, right? So because it was much risky asset. If you're willing to take that risk, definitely there are other coins today where you can take that risk, which is like sub $100, and hopefully even that will go to few tens of thousands of dollars.
I don't believe that. I don't buy that.
Okay. So yeah, see, you believe it because the trust it finally was able to instill in people's mind. Okay, and when that trust did not exist, you would not have bought it. It's as simple as that.
True, 100% true, actually. Because right now, everybody's thinking, what's going to be the next Bitcoin? Okay, let's invest in Shiba Inu. That's going to be next Bitcoin. Let's invest in, what is that new token, Bonk or something? Can you imagine, Satvik, right now, token 2049 is going on in Dubai, and it was, of course, training and everything. We saw it everywhere. Apparently, people created, some group of people, they created a meme coin, um, a floating turtle in Dubai. That's, I don't know what's the exact name, but it's actually representing a floating turtle in Dubai, which is a same memorable meme coin from this particular token 2049 session. And I'm like, oh, what are you even going to do with it? And they're like, oh no, it's gonna go really high. You should invest some money. I'm like, please leave me out of it.
Seriously, if me and you or anyone is talking negatively about the floods happening in Dubai, you could get arrested. Okay, you can talk but not negatively. Okay, so in that, by showing that kind of picture, if they're trying to make marketing, I don't know what it could be.
I was like, first of all, my first question was because they wanted me to invest some money, say couple $100, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. They're like, but see, this is from this time later on, in the next sessions of token 2049, it's gonna be way more valuable. I'm like, but why? What is the value it carries? Nothing, zero.
It's like NFT. Maybe they would have done it as an NFT than a token. Yeah.
Exactly, that would have made at least a little more sense to
And,
people.
and say it's only like 100 of them exist, or
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, again, make it scarce and make it have some properties. For saying just different turtles, different colored turtles on each thing, and yeah, you can still pull up a project with it. Sure.
Could be, but at the end of the day, I would still wonder what am I gonna do with an NFT from Token 2049, say 2024 edition? Who am I gonna show it, and what's the point of showing it? Okay, Dubai was flooded. I have this NFT. How does it even make sense? But anyways, it's what people like to do. It's also a kind of zest that they possess for such things. So maybe they thought it could be a good money making opportunity for them. But at the end of the day, I have come to believe that there is no other Bitcoin, and even if there's alternative to diversify a little, it's okay. I mean, just trial and test, and you will know for yourself. Because I got to know for myself. That is what I know. Um, even our parents right now wouldn't believe as much in Bitcoin as much as we do. So us believing in forthcoming currencies like that could be a little tricky altogether.
For them, believing in us was a first challenge. Forget about what we believe in.
Agree.
When you are trying to do anything in Bitcoin, the first thing is okay. Now this thing is a bug and it has bit you. Go do whatever. You will eventually analyze one day. You realize one day.
Anyways, I think we had a fantastic session today, Sathvik. On this note, we'll be closing our session, guys. All the good luck for halving. Let's see, and let's explore good things. If you want, post your halving selfies, tag Uno Coin, and let us know. You might get a little surprise. And with this, we'll be closing our today's session. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Thank you so much, Sathvik, for your energy. And today's conversation was amazing. Thank you so much.
Like always.